Hey, cool dude, can I play too?
It's only a one-player game.
Then how come it says second player score?
You're listening to the Second Player Speaks podcast with Nerdpunk's Second Player Score.
All right. So welcome to the latest episode of Second Player Speaks, the Second Player Score official podcast. And today we have a very special guest in-house. We have Gary and Josh from Stab in the Dark. Woo, woo. They're one of our fellow punk bands here in the area, and we've played a lot of shows with them, and we thought it'd be kind of cool to have them in here to talk about because we always talk about rock music and pop culture, and we thought it would be good, and they would be a good first guest for our show. So, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you very much.
And so, I don't know. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Stab in the Dark and who you guys are and what you do?
Okay, well, I'm Gary Dean today, going by AKA Pissy Pants, because I just dumped a beer in my lap right before we got here, which was pretty funny. But anyway, I sing and play guitar in the trio of Stab in the Dark.
My name is Josh McKenna. I play bass and Stab in the Dark. My pronouns are dude or bro. Yeah, and so Stab in the Dark, we've been around for how long now, Gary?
I don't know. Officially, I guess maybe since like 2012, 13, I guess.
Yeah, you guys got started right about the same time we did.
Yeah. We actually met you guys originally at the Hawthorne Theater.
Yes, Battle of the Bands.
That's right. Yeah.
King Banana presents.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I think I had discovered you guys on Reverb Nation I think maybe 2 months prior to that, when we were in the studio doing some recording for the first album, and I was hooked immediately.
Yeah, I remember Kyle. You were like a big fan, and you said, "Oh, you guys got to check this band out," and so that was kind of how we first got introduced to you guys.
Nice, that's very cool. Yeah, I remember that. I remember because we played that show together at the Hawthorne Theater, and then I think we had heard your guys' music, and then we actually came up and finally talked to you guys, and you guys were super cool. So yeah, that was totally rad.
Yeah, and then it was a grip of gigs at Shanahan's.
Yeah, we've played. Yes, we have played a lot of. We have played a lot of shows together since back in the day.
I know these guys were our first and our second CD release. These guys were support for us, and unfortunately, I think this time around, Mark was at a motorcycle event, and so we could not repeat, which would have been totally cool.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that would have been super cool to have you guys there, but
that was Lola's room, right?
Yeah. It was a cool show, though, man. I mean, God, there was. I don't know what it was this summer, but this summer I found so many punk and pop punk bands that I did not know about just in this area. So many. It's amazing how much good shit is going on around here.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's seriously a ton of kill bands in our local scene, and it's awesome.
One thing I've never asked you guys at any show, and I can't believe this is the first time I'm asking. I've always wanted to know. What is the reference to Stab in the Dark? How did that become the name?
Well, today we are Hugs in the Light.
That's punk rock.
That's our alter ego if we ever go acoustic.
I think we're Drunken Philanthropy, I think.
Yeah. That was our latest.
Yes.
Hugs in the Light.
That's awesome.
Wait, what was the question?
Stab in the Dark. Where did that name come from?
I'm not really sure where that came from, actually, but it's been around for quite a while. And then, we grew up with the original Star Wars as children. So at some point, just randomly came across the font, and it worked perfectly. So we thought that was pretty awesome, and we wanted it looks epic, so that's what we were going for.
It does look
Cool.
epic.
It does. Hey, I've always wondered. On one of your decals, you have DB Cooper on it. So where did that reference come from? Because I see it every day when I sit at my computer desk. It's right next to me.
I'll let Gary explain that. That's from an earlier album.
Yeah, that is actually from an earlier album, which was actually almost a different band, but we had a song about DB Cooper, and we basically just thought the logo looked really cool, so we've stuck with it, and we just felt like it was very familiar looking, and it represents the Northwest, I mean, that whole...
Totally, yeah.
That... I watched like several documentaries about DB Cooper, and I mean, the whole thing started in Portland and ended up in Seattle, so we just thought it was like a very Northwest reference, so we've kind of stuck with it, and it's very recognizable, and we just thought it was cool.
Hell yeah, cool.
Right on. So now you guys most recently released Shanghai, which we even did a second player suggestion on it, which was easy for us because I mean, like, it's Stab in the Dark, so we already knew we were going to like it. But really good album all the way around. Your first like full length album, right?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. Well, actually, it's only 8 songs, so...
I think that
That's a
makes
punk rock
it.
full album.
Yeah, that makes it. So, I mean, like, have you guys seen, like, how's it been received, like, comparatively? Do you think, like, has it gotten some good feedback? People really digging it? I mean, we dug it, but I feel like we're always going to say that.
Right. No,
I feel like your music is specifically crafted to my ears.
Well, I mean, we've been in the scene for a while now. I think that we're recognized throughout the Portland area. I mean, everybody pretty much knows who we are. We're solid. We've been around for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, us being a 3-piece, it switched. There was a point where it was a 4-piece, and then we switched to a 3-piece, and then we kind of switched up our style, more aggressive, more.
Yeah, as a 3-piece, we definitely got a little more heavier and just more straightforward. And then on this last album, Shanghai was the first album we recorded with Mark.
Yeah, I think that made a huge difference. Like, I could hear the difference in there, and yeah, without a doubt, more aggressive than the previous albums, for sure.
So I want to know, like, you guys said you went to a 4-piece and then back to a 3, or so, like, what was the decision process in that? Like, why did you decide to go back to being a 3-piece? Well, we have very specific reasons for why we're a 3-piece. So.
Right. Well, honestly, what happened is we put out an album as a 4-piece, and there was actually a couple different members, and then basically it kind of fell apart. And a lot of those songs were very dependent on having 2 guitar players. So it was like we finished this album, put it out, and then basically most people haven't even heard of this album. It's called Hello, Hello, and it's not even really out there anymore. But after that happened, basically we just started as a 3-piece, which was actually very hard to do, going from 2 guitars to 1 guitar. And in fact, like, originally I started using a splitter, and I started using 2 guitar amps just to get that stereo guitar effect, because I was so used to the sound of 2 guitars. I was like, it sounded so empty with 1 guitar amp at first, but I don't know. Eventually we got used to it, and I don't know. We just feel real solid with what we're doing, and we like being a trio, and keeps it simple, and we're vibing. The 3 of us vibe together very well, so it's really cool.
Awesome.
I just recently was talking with another band online, and it's they're just like a cover band. Bob from Alpha 03. So he does a cover band on the side, like, that's where he makes his money, because nobody makes money making original music. So
True that.
But anyway, but there's a lot more members and stuff, and so we were talking the other night during my radio show in the chat room, and he was like, he had this idea he's been working on, but he's like, we got a lot of members, so it's a lot of people to have to convince. And I said, yeah, that's why we have 3 people in my band. All I have to do is convince 2 other people.
Right.
And sometimes one of those 2 is just me.
I can relate with that.
So I like, it's way easier to get stuff through the channels. We have way less bureaucracy than you do.
Exactly.
For sure, keeping it small and simple is nice.
Yeah, just the other day I woke up to like my phone had 20 something messages because they're going back and forth since like 6. But I'm a swing shifter, so I'm reading through. I'm like, this is all great. I'm like, cool, right on, send.
Could you imagine
done,
being part of Slipknot and waking up like 157 messages in the last like 3 hours?
Yes, or like a mariachi band or somebody with horns and all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, it seems hard to keep that kind of band
12-piece.
together.
Yeah, right.
It's my turn for
For
a
sure.
solo.
All right, so you guys
I have an
mentioned
idea.
you guys mentioned Star Wars. So obviously, I think we're all big fans of the
I
franchise.
noticed there's a blaster pin right there. Pretty sure that's Han Solo's.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about that. I don't know, like what are you guys' favorite Star Wars movie out of them all?
Well, that would be Empire Strikes Back.
Hell
but
yeah,
Of
Empire.
course, of course.
Yeah.
The best.
We are original. We grew up on the original trilogy, and which is weird because Mark's a little bit younger than us, so he missed that wave and he doesn't appreciate, I guess, the Star Wars.
Yeah, Mark doesn't care. Our drummer doesn't care about Star Wars at all. And by the way, he said to say hello, and I hate Star Wars. But that's okay because we don't really care. We love him anyway.
Wait, but how old
Hi,
is he?
Mark. I love you.
Mark is what 32?
Yes, I
Dude,
think so.
I'm 33. Yeah, but I love it. I appreciate it.
Right.
Like what?
He's just, it's just not his thing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Mark's just not like a nerd like the 3 of us are.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Disneyland this last week of October, and that's what I'm going to check out, the new Star Wars land. Maybe
I'm
drink some
pumped
blue
for it,
milk.
too.
I don't know. I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah, I've been following that too, and I want to take my son to it, so pretty stoked about it.
Cool. Are you guys excited for the Disney streaming service with the Mandalorian and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and all
Yeah,
that?
Josh
yes,
is.
yes. The Mandalorian. That's the one I'm most hyped for.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. So, and of course the episode 9 is coming out in December, and so I don't know. I mean, have you guys seen some of the advanced stuff for that? And
Yes, I have.
So what do you think? What are you expecting?
I have big hopes for the Mandalorian.
Oh wait, are we talking about Mandalorian? Or
We
are
can talk
talking about
about-
episode
We're
9?
talking about
Either.
both. Episode 9.
I thought Han Solo was good,
I liked that
liked
movie.
it too.
which was
I liked
surprising
it.
because I didn't think anyone could ever replace Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
and
no,
I was thought it was a bad idea, but that actor, which I can't remember his name, did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked as a prequel, so
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It did.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this is a firm belief of mine. Okay, first of all, the guy that they replaced Solo with, not a super well-known actor. Key, all right? Star Wars, reputedly one of the highest grossing franchises ever. It was a phenom when it came out, right? Who did anybody know? Like what? Harrison Ford had been in a
American
couple
Carpenter.
American Graffiti, yeah.
and
Alec Guinness.
Mark Hamill was in like 8 is Enough. Okay, that was it. And then,
Alec
and then
Guinness.
Alec Guinness was the only person anybody knew anything about.
What?
At that
And
point.
wasn't he like some British theater actor or something?
Well, no, I mean he had been in like things like Bridge Over the River Kwai, and I mean like really well known movies and stuff. But I guess he didn't even want to be in it. Like he
Right.
looked at that as like one of like these. Why was I even in this kind of thing, right? But that was the key, was that it wasn't a bunch of named actors, because then the characters were able to be the characters of the movie. Not everybody like trying to see like, oh, how did frickin' Jamie Foxx play like this fucking character, you know? And so, and I think too much of that is what's going on now. It's driven too much by money. And see, Lucas didn't have that option
Right.
with Star Wars. He didn't have any like backing or anything, so he had to go with these low budget actors. But you have that. You have look at Wolverine in the first X-Men. Okay, everyone was like, they knew, man, Wolverine was going to be very contentious because everybody's very, very particular about Wolverine. Best thing they did, Hugh Jackman. who the fuck knew who Hugh Jackman was, right? Nobody. So he was able to be Wolverine, right? So same thing, Han Solo. Nobody knows who this guy is, so you see him as Han Solo, not fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right,
And the
playing
fact
Han Solo.
that this guy does not measure up to frickin' Harrison Ford. Of course he's not going to.
There was that one guy, Jamie something. What was his name?
Oh, the actor.
He was
had
an
it down.
actor.
He had
yeah,
the part
that
down.
guy. He was almost more of an impersonator, but that guy impersonated
He nailed
Harrison.
it.
He's on Facebook, but that guy impersonated Harrison Ford to the T. Man,
Oh,
it
really?
was crazy.
Was it Jamie Kennedy?
I'm not
I think
sure
it
what his
is.
name-
I think it
Yeah.
is.
Dude,
I
that
think-
guy, not all
He
his
does a
stuff is
lot of
funny,
different
but, yeah.
impersonations. Yes, and he nails it. Well, and that's what I just would say to Disney. I hope, when they look at these and they just look at dollar signs, I don't want to see Star Wars go down and be like another Transformers where it's just action and no storytelling and just, they look
Right.
at it as free money or something like that, because I think they learned their lesson on The Last Jedi.
Well, yeah, and I felt like, okay, I was very disappointed with like what was the clone, the first one that came out in '99, the Attack of the Clones. Was
Oh,
that?
wait.
The prequels.
Okay, so the prequels,
Phantom of the Menace.
The prequels came out and they were the complete opposite of what Star Wars was in the first trilogy, which was no-name actors playing these roles and showing Hollywood that you don't need that star power as long as you have like a great movie, great storytelling, and obviously like there were it was exciting, right? I will say, the first one was New Hope. There was some slow parts in there. It took a little while, but I mean, I was 6 years old and riveted.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been that boring. Okay, so then of course Empire Strikes Back was just crazy, right? But they proved that, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's do the prequels. Let's do star power. Let's get high named actors, and then we can do whatever the fuck we want. No, you can't because it sucked.
Me and Josh here, something just dropped, but me and Josh here were waiting for the prequels for so long because there was
imagining.
talk about them for years and years and years before they actually came out, and I don't know. I feel like they tried to use the best technology they had, or they were trying to use cutting edge technology at the time, but it ended up being kind of stale. It was like when they went back to The Force Awakens, the fact that they filmed it on film, gave it a little bit more of that original Star Wars feel. So
Yeah, no, exactly. And then, like my wife has never really been into any of the Star Wars, so when Rogue One came out on Netflix.
Big fan of Rogue One,
I
too.
was like,
I
look,
cried at the end.
We've
I was
got
like, oh
to
my
check
God.
this out. We've got to check it out. So she did. She actually liked it, and I felt comparatively to like the prequels, like that felt way more like the original Star Wars than the prequels did.
I like the prequels.
No, I know. I mean,
I'm a prequel apologist.
I know you love. I know,
that.
no.
I'm not a
I
hater.
don't take that.
Yeah,
from
me
you,
either.
Man. I don't take that from you. I'm just saying, like for me personally, it didn't work.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
why.
I know why, and I understand the reasons why people don't like them. I get it, but like I love the world building, and I thought he did a good job with that.
Definitely.
stuff, like, filling in the backstory and all that kind of, and all these little like neat little geeky fan things.
Because we all wanted to know why. How do we get to this point?
Right,
in
exactly.
episode
Yeah.
four?
I feel like Revenge of the Sith was actually a pretty solid movie.
Yeah. That's my favorite of the three. But
And you really couldn't do number 3 without somewhat explaining what happened in 1 and 2. So it worked.
Yeah. So
Well, let's just before we get off the Star Wars topic, we just need to mention one more time, dude. What about that Arcade One cabinet coming out with the 3 Star Wars games, dude? There has to be one here at Second Player headquarters. I'm telling you, there has got to be.
yeah.
Dude, I'll throw down on that.
Dude.
I'll definitely throw down
Dude,
on that.
it has to happen.
it has to. Yes.
You won't practice, you know that, right?
we're moving slowly moving more and more away from music.
Right?
Everybody needs one of those in their garage.
That's right.
Dude, well, practice at Second Player Score. It went from 2 hours. Now it's about 3 hours. We're gonna get that, and then it's gonna be about 7 hours.
It's an all-day experience.
Yeah, it's all
right?
day.
Yeah. But just to hear it in the background as we're practicing, like when you're walking through ground control and you hear all the nostalgic sounds and stuff, and like, I just love to hear that on a loop.
Shout out to ground control because that place is pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I
and
love that
also
place.
shout out to Mr. Danger, Ninjas with Syringes, which just dropped their new album.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Dude,
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. Damn it. I forgot. I was
Punkonomics.
gonna
It's been
a
listen to that
minute.
this morning.
Punkonomics, we were just listening to it.
Yes. Oh man. I meant to listen to that this morning when I got up and forgot all about it. So
Yeah, it's good.
I guess
It's
I
good.
know what I'm doing tomorrow morning when I get up.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know. I've been waiting for that because I need some new syringes for the radio show. So, dude, I can't wait.
I
can't wait
love
to hear
that band name, Ninjas with Syringes.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
really good.
Like, what are they trying to inject you with?
I would not ask Matt that question.
I mean, any bodily fluid, he'll fill in the blank.
Oh
I mean,
my god!
I'm afraid to ask
There will
him.
be a million answers coming out of that guy for that.
Back to that Star Wars arcade game, though. I heard about that from your guys' previous podcast. As soon as I heard that, I was like Googling it and saw it. They're selling it at Best Buy. I was like, I need that thing.
And he was sharing it with me, and yeah.
I'm telling you, when second player score blows up and we've got an actual like full on like headquarters, there is going to be like a full wall of just cabinet vintage arcade games, man. We're just gonna just have it lined.
Yes.
Yeah, we're slowly making the brew pub in the garage.
Right?
It'll evolve.
All right, so this is the third segment of the show where we talk about beer. And
I like beer.
Yes, so this week's beer is actually Dan brought a bottle of this last time. This was I was supposed to save it in my fridge until this week. And I did really good of not drinking it until yesterday. Like Kyle texted me on yesterday afternoon. He said, "Hey, so do we still have that beer ready to go for tomorrow? So I don't have to get another one." Yeah. It's good. I refrained from drinking it, but then after dinner I just boop. I don't know what happened. So oh crap! So I had to go out this morning and replace it. So I got the same thing that you did. It's it's the Transcend IPA by Heathen Brewing, which is right here in Vancouver, Washington. So
Brian and I even went out there one time for a little event of their grand opening.
yes, and you actually did a sort of like a semi-internshipy type thing.
Yeah, I went out there one day. I was going to go and sit in on a brew day with them, and something hadn't worked out with the yeast or something, and so they weren't able to brew. So I washed kegs for 8 hours with them.
That's the main part of brewing beer, really.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
sanitizing,
yeah.
yeah.
If that's the thing, though. I maybe it was just a test, because if people are not willing to clean in brewing, then don't even bother, right? Because cleaning is like it's 75% of it, just because that's how much you don't want to do it. And so anyway, I cleaned kegs with them, and then I went out, I think like 2 months later, and sat in and helped them brew one day, and it was a lot of fun to see how it's done on a large scale. But it was interesting. It literally was just a larger version of what I already do. It's just much more massive equipment and pumps instead of gravity.
Right.
Oh, cool.
I use gravity. They use pumps.
We just played a what was it? That was a whiskey distillery, right?
Yeah, Magis, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That is super cool.
Yeah, that was some impressive. What was it? Copper.
Yeah.
This is good beer.
Oh yeah.
Where are you guys at? I know you guys came out with Head of Sin with your own beer, Head of Sin, right?
Yeah, we actually have. We're coming up with a full line of 12 for the Nobody's Hero album. I think we have 4 left. We still have to determine. But in the end,
A beer for a song?
a beer for each song, and then the 11th song, which is actually like 8 minutes, it gets 2 beers. Because there's actually literally, the song is split into 2 parts, and so we're gonna have the first part and the second part. So it'll literally be the Nobody's Hero 12-pack.
That's awesome.
You can taste the music
So
without drugs. Without drugs.
And so, I mean, the plan is, of course, when like everything takes off, we have the ability to do our own brewing and stuff, we would do that. But if not, I've always talked about like seeing what we could do on a contract brew.
Right.
The only hard part about that is you have to find some place that would literally brew 12 different beers for you at once. So that would be the hard part, is to find a place that has maybe like a 10-barrel unit or a few 10-barrel units in which they could make small amounts of 12 beers rather than one huge amount of one beer. So who knows? We even discussed like just trying one of them just to get it started.
Sure, yeah.
I think we wanted to do. I have a maple pecan porter that I do. That originally started off as a like kind of a Christmas beer, kind of a holiday beer, but it was so fucking good it became hooked off the album. Because man, one drink and that's exactly what's happened. You are fucking hooked. So yeah, we were talking about maybe like finding a place to contract brew that, which is kind of hard to find around here because the beer is so popular around here that breweries don't really have a problem like running at capacity.
Right.
Usually that's, you wait for a place that kind of not running at capacity and they've got equipment just sitting around. And so they're like, yeah, we'll do a brew for you or whatever. And then they fill a bunch of kegs and then it's just up to you to distribute. So we're kind of looking at that, but it's finding a brewery that's going to be able to like add on this extra piece.
Nice. The only one, so far I've only tried you guys' Head of Sin. I remember you guys got McMenamins to do that for you. That was awesome. How'd you make that happen?
Was so awesome.
Yeah.
So they were doing the Blasphemous Collaboration Series, in which every 3 months they would pick a Northwest band. They would sit down with them and try to discuss a beer recipe that maybe kind of got across the sound of the band or the feel of the band or maybe a particular song. Well, I heard about that. I'm like, oh, well, we brew beers for our songs. Okay, so I emailed the head brewer at Edgefield. A half an hour later, the brewer at Crystal Ballroom emails me back and says, like, you're in.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
it was
cool.
like, oh, dude, this is so cool, So, yeah, we got to go down there one day, and I took like 6 different beers, and we tried them all with him and everything, and yeah, Hedison was definitely without a doubt, the one.
Major props for that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was really fucking awesome.
Do you guys have like a favorite beer? Is there like a stab in the dark beer that you guys always drink? Like after practice.
Yeah, what's
or
your
something like
practice
that,
beer?
or-
Yeah.
Gary,
Bringing up Stab in the Dark beer. Never mind. Actually, honestly, we don't even really drink at practice. Our drummer doesn't drink alcohol at all. So our practices are we're sober at practice, even though I enjoy drinking. But
Gary's a cooler light guy.
I drink a lot of shitty beer. Look, I appreciate craft beer, but I don't know. I like to drink, so the lower the alcohol, maybe the better.
You stamina drink. That's a different kind of animal.
Yeah.
right?
I think it's harder to like just slowly nurse a 12-pack than to just like have 3 IPAs and just get trashed, because then like it's a filling kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at drinking slow, so if it has high alcohol, I get myself in trouble.
Yeah, same here.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
I've blacked out a few times too, man.
It's like really fucking good. This
It is,
Transcendent IPA. I know it's one of their biggest sellers.
Yeah.
Damn, that's really good.
Yeah, it's good, and they have. I've been to their brew pub downtown, and that's kind of like what I envisioned Kyle's a pub as being one day.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
in a funky little brew pub downtown, and I think that'd be pretty cool. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I just love their whole style, or their kind of their thing. They want their beers to be better and bolder. They're kind of like Stone Brewing in their mission.
Mm.
They want things to be bigger and bolder and so Heathen Brewing was a perfect name for these guys.
Right. Yeah.
If you ever see you ever read the descriptions and stuff of their beers, it all makes sense.
Mhm.
So.
Cool. Well, so Stab in the Dark, we want to thank you guys for being here today with us. Latest
Thank you
album,
very much.
Shanghai, is available
Shanghai is available everywhere.
Everywhere.
Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can think of. And check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, if you're any kind of self-respecting punk, you're gonna, and you haven't heard it, you will. Otherwise, your card is revoked.
We also got a pretty.
second
We
that.
also got a couple. We got 2 pretty dope music videos on our YouTube channel, which is Stab in the Dark Music. So check those out. We got a music video for 6 Seconds and a music video for Ocean Shores.
And I'm not sure when this airs. We're open for Teenage
yeah.
Bottle Rocket tomorrow.
Yeah,
Monday?
yeah. When
Oh,
is this air?
21st.
These come out Tuesday, but
These come out Tuesday.
Oh,
so
a day too late.
well, it's been a. You know what? We're gonna be celebrating about our rad show at Teenage Bottle Rocket after when you hear this.
Dante's. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Nice.
But we're pretty stoked on that. Yeah, we're opening for Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Yeah, you should be.
on Monday night, and it's gonna be a good time.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah, man.
Well, okay. Well, that wraps up another episode of Second Player Speaks. So tune in next week when we'll be back with another new episode. So thanks
And
for
thank
listening.
you guys for having us here.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
for
so
having
thank
us.
you for
Thanks for
coming,
being
guys.
here.
It was
And did
great
I
having you.
understand that correctly? We're your first guest?
Yes, you
Yeah,
are the
yeah.
first guest ever
Wow.
on Second Player Speaks.
Pop.
Nice,
Sweet.
nice.
Right.
Later.
I need to use the bathroom.
You've been listening to the Second Player Speaks podcast with Second Player Score.